I'm your co-host, Rachel Leishman.
And I'm Maggie Lovitt.
And I'm Raven Brunner.
And we're here to talk about actor, general cutie patootie. I almost was like Gwyneth Powell.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow. We're here to talk about actor Glen Powell. I love a filmography, and so whenever I get into an actor, I like watching his movies, and so I always go, why not just make it a podcast? Because then everyone can share the love. But to start, we all thought we would go around and introduce ourselves and kind of explain why we wanted to do a podcast all together. And this first episode is just going to be so you guys kind of understand what we're doing, because we're going to do an episode on Twisters, but it's also the day Twisters came out when we're recording, so we wanted to give you guys a little
and one of us, me, hasn't seen Twisters yet.
We wanted to give a little window into so people could go. But Maggie, tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Well, much like you, I'm a big fan of filmographies. I think I've seen most of Glen's filmography. There's a couple of blind spots that I have that I'm excited to get to delve into on this podcast. And yeah, I'm excited to chat with the two of you and whatever guests we have down the road. I think it's so much fun, and I love what you did with the Padro podcast.
Yes.
So I'm very excited to replicate that here.
Thanks. Also, Maggie, would you like to tell the audience what you decided we were going to call ourselves?
Oh, yes.
Because you can say it. I'm not saying it.
The Powell Pals.
Now say that 5 times. Really fast.
Yeah. Again, I just want to state on the record, I'm the one that was a performance theater major, and I said, no, Maggie, you can go ahead and say that. I'm not saying it. I've done my tongue twisters.
We love some alliteration.
When don't we?
We could have been the Glen Gals.
I would have loved that, actually. That's perfect.
A gender neutral term that we can use whenever we have guests.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Powell Pals.
So Powell Pals are when guests are around, but otherwise we're the Glen Gals. And you can sing it you can sing I almost said the Gilmore Girls, but I meant the Golden Girls theme song. You can sing the Golden Girls theme song.
What?
Yeah,
thank you for being a Glen.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Thank you for being coming back again. You're a Powell.
You're a pal.
We're doing great, guys. Happy.
This is the energy that we're bringing.
We're just gonna sing the Golden Girls theme song whenever we feel
at the start of every episode.
Yeah, whenever we feel moved. It's fine. I'm almost a senior citizen. I'm gonna be 33. It's fine.
Oh my god, don't say that. Don't call yourself a senior citizen.
Listen, we'll get to the press tour, but every time Daisy Edgar Jones makes fun of Glen Powell and Anthony Ramos as boomers, I'm like, Anthony Ramos is literally a week older than me.
I was gonna say Anthony Ramos is not old. How old is Glen Powell?
He was born in 88.
When?
88.
We both answered at the same time, but with
who knows
different things.
how to math?
I said it's the 35, which is what I said, and she said the year.
Hey, before the podcast, we did establish that none of us are good at numbers, so
that's why we're all writers.
Maggie's a historian. She's a historian, so no wonder she said the fucking year. 35 years old. Anyways, Raven,
born 1988.
Do we know the date, the month, all the dates?
He's a Libra.
I feel like that's as much information as we need.
Yeah.
I'm not
Libra.
I don't know a lot about astrology, but I feel like that makes sense. I've never heard a bad thing about a Libra.
Well, you haven't talked to my mom. October 21st, 1988. She was married to one. So
oh, okay.
She loves to. My dad was Libra. Anyways.
Wait, he's Raven. October? Rachel, we're October, aren't we?
I'm November. I'm a week. Oh. I'm November 8th.
Oh, boo. Maggie, are you October?
No, I'm March. I'm a Pisces.
Well, I'm birthday month twins with Glen. Well, this is what I'm finding out right now in this moment.
Well, then Raven, it is your time to talk about.
And that's why I want to talk about filmography, because we're both October babies.
That you just learned today, right now.
Just learned. So I am one of those people who just got interested in Glen in his 2024 summer boy of the summer season right now. I've seen some of his movies. I've seen Set It Up. Love that movie. Think I adore it. Kind of skipped like Top Gun, skipped Anyone But You. So I'm very excited to now be watching these movies for the first time. Like Rachel and Maggie, I love going through filmographies. I think it's really interesting to see like how an actor, you know, develops their craft over the years. I also think Glen is really interesting because he has never really been like typecast in his roles. And I don't know if it's because, I mean, I consider his breakthrough role being Top Gun. So still a little fresh if I'm right there. So I think maybe in the future we will see him getting more selective with his roles. But I think it's interesting. This man has range. I know that as someone who's probably only seen 3 of his movies. In the 3 movies, he has had range.
You did say Hot Boy Summer, and in my head, I don't know if you guys remember the song from, again, I'm aging myself so much on this podcast.
Yes,
from when I was in.
So old.
Ask a teenager. They think I'm dying.
Stop. A teenager thinks like a 21-year-old is old. I don't know what's happening right now.
What teenagers think?
Wait, you guys, I didn't get carded today at Trader Joe's, and I didn't realize it until I was in the car driving back to my apartment, and then I wanted to cry. I was like, excuse me?
On Monday, you will receive your AARP card.
Oh my God,
stop. Coming in the mail. No, but
sorry, Rachel, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. You said Hot Boy Summer, and I started singing Hot Boy to the tune of Dark Blue by Jack's Mannequin, I think it is, where it's like, dark blue, have you ever been alone in a crowded room? I was like, hot boy.
Have you also singing on this pod?
Yeah, it's me. I'm always singing a goddamn song. Okay, yeah.
Oh my God, wait. Sorry to get us off topic, but you mentioned singing, and we mentioned Anthony Ramos earlier.
Yeah.
I just want to say, we know that like Glen Powell is like somewhat of a theater guy. We get the vibes. Do we think
we get the straight theater guy vibes? Yes.
Do you think he talked about Hamilton with Anthony while on set of Twister?
Oh, I bet.
Right? He had to have at least once started singing like a random Hamilton song.
Listen, I'm too much of a musical theater snob. I'd be like, sir, educate yourself. There's much better musicals that have come out. You're in Oklahoma. Watch The Outsiders.
Okay. Rachel.
Okay, but
I'm a musical theater snob.
I'm sorry, but then I also have to counter that by saying, are there better musicals that Anthony Ramos has been in?
Yeah, In the Heights, the movie.
Oh shit, I forgot he was in that movie. That was a very good movie.
Yes, but Rachel Leishman, am a musical theater snob. Something we'll probably learn a lot about on here. Yeah. Anyways, I've been talking a lot about The Outsiders recently, and then this movie set in Oklahoma, so I was like, continue it. Let's go. Anyways, back on track. So yeah, we're doing this because we like filmographies. Like Raven and I talked about Robert Downey Jr.'s filmography a lot because I slowly go through all of the actors I love. I finish directors' filmographies a lot because I think it's just really interesting to kind of see someone's entire career as a whole and like judge them based on that versus like this one. Like, okay, a good example is Sydney Sweeney. Within less than a year, she had 2 movies come out. One that people were like, she's really bad in it, but it's a good movie. And then Immaculate, which everyone's like, she's so good in. And I was like, but yeah, when you're watching, if you watch both of them, you have a more nuanced view of how she approaches something like Anyone But You, which is a rom-com, versus Immaculate, which is a horror movie. I'm going to get off my soapbox though, because we're going to talk now. What we'll normally do is after we check in with each other and see what's up, which is not what we did decidedly. We talked about why we're doing this podcast instead this time. But what we're then going to do is we're going to talk about some news that is coming out about Gerald Glen.
Oh,
I don't know if his name is really
right
Glenn. I don't know what's happening. Not old. O-L apostrophe.
Okay, I can hear.
We're just carrying along the boomer energy that Daisy was bringing to the press junket.
I can't do that. I was born in 1991. It's too close.
Okay, boomer.
Too close to me.
Boomer.
Anyways, but yeah. So the news, Raven, you looked up the news. So would you like to lead this news section here?
Oh my God, that's crazy because the first thing on my notes is, Rachel, why don't you start it off by talking about what went down at 92 Y this week? We don't have to talk about that if you don't want to.
We can talk about it because it is
news.
Very funny. It is a very funny picture that I didn't want to be in. So,
I wasn't even talking about the picture. I was talking about whatever he said during the actual event, but let's talk about the photo.
Yeah, let's talk about the photo. You've brought it up. You've done this to yourself.
My favorite viral moment of the week.
So, Glen Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones did the Happy Side Confused podcast with Josh Horowitz at 92Y, which they have sometimes live screenings of, or live recordings of, sorry. And so they were there, and me and my friend Rachel, I know, confusing. There's two of us, and we both have bangs. We got there, it was like 6:15ish, and like people, there were like 3 rows of people waiting to like watch them walk in. So we were like, well, we're not going to go sit inside. Let's go down there and like see them. I'm 5'2". Maggie knows this well. She makes fun of how short I am often.
The very first thing I ever said to her, wow, you're so much shorter than I thought.
Maggie, how tall are you? We've never met in person. You give tall girl energy. 5'9".
Yeah, but I give taller energy.
Yeah, but I could see 5'9".
Her and our friend Arzu look like my very tall moms every time we go anywhere, because it's just like, and then I'm like down to like the top of their shoulders. But anyway, so we went down there and everyone's like talking, and there were like autograph hounds, which I'm not going to get on that soapbox today, but I hate them. And then we had like people who were like there only to try and meet him, and I was like, I'm going inside, so he's not here by like 6:50. I'm just going inside.
You're like, I'm better than you. Immediately.
No. But it's just like, I was like, the older I get, the less energy I have. Yeah. But so anyways, we're down there. We're like in the 3rd row. We're just sitting back there. Everyone's like, oh, he'll sign stuff, and that's it. So we're 2 idiots. She pulls out an AMC Stubbs card. I pull out a dollar bill. And I was like, if he gets to us, we'll just have him sign these, because we didn't have anything, because we were like,
the Stubbs card is cute, though. That's a cute idea. What were you saying, Maggie? I cut over you.
I said she could get a new tattoo, just have him sign her like arm or something.
Yes.
I did make fun of those tattoos. I was sitting there when someone gets someone's autograph, because the person who's doing it always makes it so big, and then the autograph is like the entire length of someone's forearm, and I'm like, I don't want that on my arm. Anyway, sorry. So then he walks up. I'm setting the scene. I'm 5'2". So I went like this and was just taking pictures at a whim and praying to the high heavens. Girl behind me decided she was going to start helping me, and she would just be like, his head is in your frame. Click, click, click. And she would just like direct me on when to click the button, because I couldn't see the camera. It was an
ally.
It was a great little, she was not even tall. She was just looking at my camera, telling me when I could go. It was
an honorary Powell pal.
Yes. A pal, as it were. But then, for some reason, he gets down the end of the line. This girl just hands him her phone, does not say a word to him, just hands the phone to him. And I was like, well, that's crazy. And I truly was like behind somebody while this was happening. And all of a sudden, the girl in the front just shifted to be in front of her tall friend in the image. And so it left me like this in the background of the image. Just like, absolutely not. Oh, that girl behind me is the one who helped me.
I was going to say, I'm obsessed with her doing the duck lips right now. I'm obsessed.
Yeah. And so that is the picture I have, is me fully like 20 chins, because I went like this and like tried to run away, and there were people everywhere. Yeah. So that's not news. That's just the story of what happened. But the news, there wasn't really anything new. The only thing that was new, which was kind of fun, was there is a scene in Twisters. Again, Maggie, this is not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. Everyone's talking about the scene where he's in a white t-shirt in the rain. He talked about how Lee Isaac Chung didn't really tell him like, oh, we're filming this because you're walking around in a white t-shirt in the rain. And he was like, he goes, oh, actually, we're going to have you just like hold that jacket and walk out into the rain. And he was like, okay. And then he got outside and realized why he was doing this, holding a jacket in a white shirt. Like, it's like the way Glen Powell described it was he realized as it was happening that they were doing it because he's a dude in a white shirt and it's wet. And yeah, so that's all the news that came out. And he talked about some other things, which is some news that Raven has.
Is that Backdraft?
Yeah.
Maggie, have you seen Backdraft?
I have.
Oh my God, and so has Rachel. So I'm the only person on this pod who has not seen Backdraft. But 1991 movie. The original had Kurt Russell, Robert Downey Jr., Robert De Niro. Look at me spreading fake news. And Glen Powell is, I think he's rumored to star in the remake of it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that what's going on right now?
Yes. So, well, one of two things. I think he said, I would like to do that.
Okay.
And then I think another thing came out that he was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
What is the truth? Who knows? Because he also didn't confirm. He kind of just like mumbled over it at the thing. He's like, yeah, I would like to do
contract that isn't signed.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I feel kind of weird about him doing. I guess Twisters wasn't a remake, right? Like that's just a lot of the criticism it's getting is that the storylines were too similar. I haven't seen the original Twisters, so I didn't like compare. I know. I don't think I watched a movie before I was born.
I have to say,
What year were you born?
Wait, no, 1997.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
really?
I know.
So close in age to Daisy then. So
Am I really?
Yeah, she's 98.
Wow, she's living my dream.
So
she did say she wasn't alive. Sorry, Maggie, go ahead. What did you say?
I was just gonna say, like, Raven joking that we're boomers actually fits now. We are closer to Glen's age.
You guys are my Glens. And I have to retract that. I have seen movies from before I was born. Less Than Zero is one of my favorite movies. I think that was before I was born. That was the 80s.
Yes.
Heathers, love Heathers. Pump Up the Volume. So I have seen movies. I just want to clarify that right now.
Less Than Zero is 1987.
I was going to say, is it 1987? Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely counts as the 80s.
Like, I knew it was like 87 or 88, but yeah, it's 87.
I will make you feel better about having not seen Twister. I have seen Twister one time in my entire life because I have had to deal with tornadoes in my real life. I don't like reliving that. It's very, very scary. I have like lots of traumatizing experiences about tornadoes as a child. So I watched it one time. The scene in the barn with all of the knives like freaked me out as a kid. And I was like, I'm good. Only time I need to see it this one time.
Well, I cannot wait until we record the Twisters episode and you can tell us if it brought up any childhood trauma for you.
Couldn't be me. I love a disaster movie. My favorite.
Rachel,
have you lived through a disaster, a natural disaster?
Yeah.
National.
I lived in Los Angeles.
Oh, shit, hurricanes.
Earthquakes. No,
earthquakes.
Well, now LA's going to get hit by a hurricane because Raven's put it out there.
So sorry, LA. Sorry to your people.
Every state I've lived in has had some kind of natural disaster happen. I just love those fucking movies. I couldn't tell you why. I love them. My favorite bit of history is that after Twister came out, Volcano and Dante's Peak came out the following year, and they were like, hey, we did the Twister thing. Now it's time for volcanoes. It's so funny to me. I think it's hilarious that that's what we chose to do. Anyways.
Wait. Can I add that I also love disaster movies in the definition of I love Sharknado, the entire franchise. When I was in high school, I threw a Sharknado party and no one but my best friend came, but it was the most fun I've ever had.
Did you say high school?
I just felt my bones start creaking when you said high school because I came out when I was in college.
Oh, no. I think I was a junior in high school and it was like Sharknado 2. The movie was the party was definitely for 2. Maybe 3. No, not 3.
What year did Sharknado?
Yeah, no.
I fully had graduated from college.
What year was that?
2014.
No, I graduated from high school 2015.
I graduated from college and...
Oh my God, how does it feel to be old, guys?
It's bad. It's bad.
Not great.
Anyways, backdraft. Someone, Bobby, who we said we're going to try and get her on. Bobby did tweet that she was like, cool, that means he's going to remake Jaws. And I was like, no, I draw the line at having to watch that man in a shark movie. I don't like sharks. They belong in the ocean. I belong on the land. That is how we kind of coexist.
If I can watch a tornado movie for Glen Powell, you can watch a shark movie for Glen Powell.
I agree. And then next has to be Bears. I mean, I would have loved to have seen him in Cocaine Bear. I feel like he would have really done something funny in there.
Yeah, him and Alden Ehrenreich would have had the time of their goddamn lives.
Every time you lean back, it looks like Grogu's ear looks like your ear.
Oh, wait, hold on.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. Inch, a little bit more.
Which way?
No.
Toward it? Okay.
Perfect. There you
go. Screenshot.
I was like, which way do you want me to go? But yeah, anyways, I like Backdraft. Before we started recording, I told them I used to go on the ride. It's like an attraction that you can go to in Hollywood Studios, Universal. I don't know if it still exists. When we lived in California, I had we had season passes to Universal Studios, so we used to go all the time. And the Backdraft attraction is like you go in and they're like, this is what it felt like when Kurt Russell was making Backdraft. And it was like fire was all over the place. And then they would it was crazy. It was it's a weird thing that we all did where it was like, this is how they make movies. Fire. Yeah, it's the dumbest thing ever. But I also have a very deep, deep love of Kurt Russell. Something I think I accidentally passed on to my niece, who's going to be 4, because she just talks about him, and no one knows where it came from. We're like, why does she talk about Kurt Russell? And my whole family's like, that bitch. Her aunt is why she talks about Kurt Russell.
Wait, what did she say about him?
Apparently at a breakfast, she was just like, I was just thinking about Kurt Russell. And my sister-in-law was like, what did you just say? She goes, I was thinking about Kurt Russell.
So when Backdraft eventually comes out, she'll be our special guest to talk about the remake.
So they should get Wyatt Russell for the movie as well.
Oh.
So wait, don't do that to me. So you're telling me that Glen Powell would be Italian?
Would you allow him to be an honorary Italian?
Phyllis would, so yeah.
Who is Phyllis?
My mom.
Oh, we love Phyllis. We stand Phyllis on the pod. Oh my god. I didn't know her name. I knew it was Rachel's mom, but we stand Phyllis on the pod.
That's Phyllis Leishman.
We have gone so off track. Not off track, sorry. But like, what's next?
Oh, we have to have like Padre, where it is the tangent. For those who have never listened to Padre Pascal, I go on tangents a lot, and so we have a special little thing that pops up.
Who would have?
We have a special tangent banner that pops up, so we can just continue the tangent. And that'll 100% be forced into this podcast because we've been going on tangents.
We're just 3 pals palling around about Glen.
Pals. But yeah, Backdraft rules. I love it. I truly love that he's bringing back the 90s. It makes me feel really special as a 90s girl myself. Sorry, Raven. Yeah, as an old woman. Sorry, Raven. Do you remember the 90s?
Well, no, I would have been 3.
So the 90s
at the end of the 90s.
But my thing is, I remember the 90s, so I'm like,
yes, I'm the honorary olds on this podcast.
I like to glamorize the 90s, so I'm here for this.
Yeah, but I love Backdraft. The other news is
that's all the news I wrote down. I mean, oh my god, wait. Oh, I don't know what that is. You know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say the other news is Toasters came out.
Maggie, would you want to talk about The Running Man? I feel like I'm talking so much.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Allow me to pull up the information about Running Man so I don't speak out of turn. So it was announced that he is going to star in The Running Man, which is the futuristic United States of 2025. You know, it's really far off next year. Has become a dystopia. It's a sci-fi being directed by Edgar Wright. It's based off of the novel, of course, by Stephen King. I believe the script is being written by Michael Bacall. So yeah, that's supposed to be happening. I'm really excited about that. I'm a huge fan of Edgar Wright's work, not just Shaun of the Dead, but like basically everything he's ever done. So I'm very excited about that. I think that is a perfect team up. And I think it'll continue to give us leading man Glen Powell.
Is that a thriller? Yeah. Is it horror? Because
dystopian sci-fi thriller. It's not as horror-y as other Stephen King novels. It's terrible way to say that. Horror-y.
Have you read the novel or just from what you know?
Yeah, a while last year.
A while ago, like it was.
That's a while ago.
It is. When you start to get older, like last year, it's a thing that happens. But also, just like, can we all just admit that, like, since 2020, every year feels like a lifetime ago?
I could not tell you what I had for breakfast today.
Right? It's like time moves very differently now, so it feels like a long time ago. I think it was like 2 years ago I read it.
Is the screenwriter? I think you said his name was Michael. Mm-hmm. What else has he done? Do we know him?
He has done, I'm pulling up his IMDb. He worked on Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Oh, fun.
The original, and that I know of him because he did a lot of stuff with Joseph Gordon-Levitt for Hit Record.
Okay.
I was a really early backer of Hit Record, so like I've loved to see people that like continue to. I went to one of the live recordings of Hit Record. I was on stage with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I saved him from creepy fans.
And that is part of your lore.
Dinner with him at that one of the award shows like a couple years ago that we did, and it was like, hello, nice to see you again.
Yeah, It was the same one where I cried because someone put the LCD sound system
Yes.
music video that Ryan Johnson hated a montage, and I was like, someone recognizes.
Yes.
They put LCD sound system.
Yes. So yes, he's done a couple of things. He's also an actor. So actor screenwriter. Gotta love a good combo.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love
That's
Edgar
exciting.
Wright.
That sounds good.
Yes.
I told Edgar Wright I was going to be a cheerleader for this movie. He was like, "You were a cheerleader for the last one." I was like, "Yeah," and I stand by Last Night in Soho. Movie slap.
He also wrote 21 Jump Street.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So really a wide variety of films.
Right.
I think interesting choice for Running Man, but I do like his work, so I am hopeful it'll be really good.
It sounds like every single person you mentioned is bringing like a different vibe to the project, and I can't wait to see how it all goes together.
Michael McCall, Glen Powell, Stephen King. You put them all together, and what do you get?
Whatever Running Man is.
A film.
The dystopian future of 2025.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's not going to be 2025. I'm assuming it's going to be like
a little bit further. I don't know. I mean, we could get really dystopian in the next like 6 months.
Well, we're already there.
Womp, womp.
We forgot to do this earlier, but what we're going to do at the start of every podcast is say what we're drinking. So I will start.
Say
I'm doing a hashtag twisted tea because sometimes you can't take the North Carolinian out of somebody. Maggie?
Hashtag Sam Adams, Porch Rocker, Summer Limited Edition.
I'm obsessed with the color of that can.
Right?
Yeah.
It's my favorite color too.
Simpler Wines brand peach wine cocktail. It says Italian. Rachel got it on sale at Trader Joe's. A pack of 4, $7. Tastes great.
Nice.
Hey, Mambo Italian. Hey, Mambo. All right. Anyways, so what normally
that is how Glen Powell is going to be when he plays the Italian.
In Backtrack, where he plays Robert De Niro. He already wears a bunch of chains. He's got it. You just gotta dye your hair a little darker. This is fake. I don't know if everyone can see my roots.
I was obsessed with that disclaimer you posted on Twitter earlier this week when you were like, "I'm not a natural blonde."
I was like, people forget I'm Italian. This hair is black. It's just dyed blonde.
I'll just say you have darker eyebrows. Why? I don't think you had to have clarified that. I would like to talk about the person who said otherwise.
I was shook and shocketh. But anywho's it. So what we're normally going to do next is talk about the film in question. The film in question is just us talking about this podcast right now and what we're doing. So to give a quick rundown, we're going to do what we just did a little bit quicker. So the discussion does not start 30 minutes in. But we were doing a lot of setting up. We had to get you guys on board with our chaos.
Yeah, you need to know who we are so you can choose if this is the Glen Powell podcast for you or if this is the Glen Powell podcast for you.
Yeah,
it's crazy that you said that because we never really said who we are. We're like, you just get the vibes. Google us if you want to know.
Straight into the deep end.
Yeah, we're already best friends. We're pals.
We're Powell pals. Every time I pause a little, just so I get it, I'm like, the Powell pals.
I'm not even going to try to say it.
Pow pals. But yeah, so the general thing is we're going to do news. We're going to talk about ourselves a little bit. And then we're going to talk about movies because that's why you came here, because Glen Powell is a film actor.
He's also been on television.
Well, and yes. Which we'll do.
What'd you say?
Scream Queens. Justice for Scream Queens.
Wait. I was just going to ask if we were going to do an episode on Scream.
We have to.
Yes.
Right?
As a king, must speak of him.
The way that all three of us are like theater people or theater adjacent, there's no way we can skip Scream Queens.
No, I love Scream Queens.
Leah Michelle's Scream Queens.
She can't read this podcast, so it's fine.
Oh my God, stop. I'm a Leah Michelle apologist to the end, and I'm sorry. So Rachel just mouthed not me for the people listening to the pod.
Oh my outing me in the comments. I do love Trouty Mouth, who is apparently Glen Powell's friend. So happy for Court over Street.
And because of that, Glen Powell was on the set of Glee all the time, and just none of us knew. Just none of us knew in 2010 or 11 whenever Court joined the show.
But I now have Trouty Mouth. Try though.
Wait, look, tangent. Rachel, you were trying to get us so on track, and I was like, Glee.
Isn't this rad? Well.
Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, so we will do Scream Queens because I love Scream. Honestly, I think after Spy Kids 3D, that would have been the next thing I've seen him in was Scream Queens because I watch that shit. Ryan Murphy, him and I have a love-hate relationship with each other because I love all of his things, but also he cannot write more than like a season of a show. And you're like, sir, what is
He's
this?
a great idea guy.
Wait, I'm sorry, but you guys are so wrong.
Raven, I was
Wait, are we
an
counting
11-year-old.
American Horror Story, or are we just saying
Okay,
like
yeah,
his actual?
season one-
Anthologies
Season
are
one.
fine because they're all
I think
different.
season 1 through
And the
3
color.
were solid,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've still been watching them. I don't think they're bad, but I do see like the dip. I
He's
think Glee
lost
was
the
good
sauce.
until season 3. After season 3, like Glee was fine. I mean, obviously there was like a big tone change, but Glee was fine until I think the end of season 3.
Well,
No,
the,
see, that's my argument for Nip Tuck. Nip Tuck is good
No,
until
I haven't made it past season 1. I just started rewatching
Okay.
or just started watching
Well,
it for the first
I
time.
won't say the
Does it
words that were
get
about to come
bad?
out of my mouth. Not bad to where I couldn't watch it anymore. So my mom and I watched it. I was 11 years old, and me and my mom watched
That
it.
is no, that gives me nightmares. I can't watch more than like one.
I
a
was
week.
like 10 and I watched that show.
Yeah,
No,
I love Nip Tuck.
I did not
Nip
expect
Tuck-
how bloody it was. When I,
I
started watching
love
it.
me some Julian McMahon. Love
Who's
that man.
that?
Oh,
Who does he play the
that's
main guy?
Christian.
Kristen.
Christian Troy.
Okay.
He was
so-
Cole on Charmed.
Yeah, and he's also Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four with Chris Evans. Which, listen, I'll push that agenda I have on this podcast. Someone made a joke about Katrina, the co-host of Padre Pascal, showed me this week. Someone made a joke about Glen Powell and Chris Evans and said Hollywood now that they have Glen Powell, and it was like the image of Sid with Andy holding Woody and dropping Woody. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because Glen Powell would be Woody the Cowboy. Katrina was like, you were thinking way too hard about this. And I was like, no, I'm not. Chris Evans is Buzz Lightyear. I was like, Glen Powell would be Woody the Cowboy. And so now I'm pushing for a Toy Story with the two of them.
Yes.
And Buzz. I say this as someone who has a Woody the Cowboy doll in my room because I love Woody the Cowboy. There's a snake in my boot. Anyways. That was my agenda. But yeah, this will make more sense when we have a movie to talk about. We're not just talking about what we're eventually going to talk about. But we wanted to do this episode as kind of a setup so you guys were not thrown.
We wanted to set it up.
Oh, I see what you did there.
We wanted to just give you guys a little idea so then you were not thrown into the deep end and like, what the fuck am I listening to and or watching on whatever thing you decide to watch and or listen on. But yeah.
This
And so
is
then
going to be a hit, man.
I'm
Rachel, your turn. You go. You're next.
gonna kill myself.
I hear little tongue twisters right now. Did it really work?
My Top Gun maverick with the fucking puns because I hate puns.
Oh, you picked the wrong co-host, babe. I am the queen of puns.
Wait, I feel like we should do a thing where we see who can. I mean, Maggie's gonna win every time, but we each pick like a movie title and see who could like naturally work it into the conversation first.
Yes, and we don't tell Rachel.
And we don't tell Rachel.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like this. I'm gonna have no neck because my shoulders are gonna be up so high.
It can make some really
God.
good misconduct.
Anyway, so what is gonna happen now? Every single episode, because we all love him. He's perfect. No notes. He looks like a big-eared little gremlin. We're gonna have Brisket Watch, where we talk about this big
I was
dang
like, are you
dog.
saying Glen Powell's ears are big?
I'm talking about this dog with ears that go out like this, like Yoda. His ears.
Much like you earlier.
It's me, Brisket. Yeah, we're gonna do Brisket Watch, and we're just going to talk about our favorite little moments with Brisket. Because if you guys don't follow Hot Brisket on Instagram, what are you doing?
Wait.
Mainly
We have been tangenting so much, but what Rachel's been trying to say for the last 20 minutes is that the order of the podcast is introductions, news, movie talk, and then now we are transitioning into brisket talk.
and every time we attempt to do it, someone says something, and we just start talking about that. And
It's okay. We Sparks noted it.
Yeah. So you were wondering what the fuck I was getting to. There it is. But yeah, so we're gonna do Brisket Watch. which if you guys don't follow Brisket, it's literally him at premieres. And then for some reason, Glen Powell has decided all of his pictures with this dog are going to be shirtless on this Instagram.
And if
except
you
for
don't follow
one.
Brisket is a dog.
In case you thought it was like,
I just feel like we never really introduced that part of the.
I did. I said he's a big-eared gremlin. It's Brisket the dog.
it's Gremlin's
Like,
cousin. It's
you
Gizmo's cousin.
bring up gremlins and then dogs, and then all of a sudden everyone's gonna be like, "Oh wow, isn't Brisket a gremlin?" I'm sorry, I gotta go.
I thought Glen Powell was remaking Gremlin.
We're doing
Anyways,
so great.
I haven't listened to this podcast.
yeah, because it's chaotic, and that is. Have you seen videos of Glen Powell?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Anyways, so
Energy.
to start, we're going to talk a little bit about the hard launch of Brisket's new bestie, Daisy Edgar Jones. This post was posted for Twister. This picture got posted for Twisters.
I can't even tilt my head.
So if you guys are listening, it's the image of Daisy Edgar Jones holding Brisket with Sasha Lane looming in the corner. It's really cute. It's just like a cute little image. And that's a nice little Brisket moment. Raven, you know what? Raven, you're last. Maggie.
I deserve that.
You're the last one. Maggie, talk about your choice for the Brisket Watch.
I have been obsessing over Brisket on the red carpet because he's been wearing the cutest little bow tie. He is like perfectly styled. And if you have seen any of the videos, he is also posing for every single photographer. And then as soon as the photographer is done taking photos, he like resumes a natural dog behavior. Like this dog is so camera ready. It is just like, it is insane. And I am obsessed.
Do you think there's like media training for dogs? Is that what's going on here?
Has to be.
Brisket
Also,
better help Benji.
Let's talk about what is on his the little chain on his collar. At first I thought it was
Texas
Nemo,
Longhorn.
but that's definitely
No,
okay.
it's a Texas Longhorn logo.
Yeah, it's a
Okay, well it is orange and white, which is just default Nemo.
Yeah. Maggie took a second, but she got
sorry, I have arthritis because I'm old. I'm better at the hand that you can't see. This one.
Except you're still doing I love you instead.
Don't work.
Maggie's a lover.
Maggie, describe the image for the people listening.
This is a photo of Glen Powell not looking like a capybara, holding a adorable dog whose ears are not pointy like Rachel was describing earlier, but actually in a very neutral position. He actually looks maybe a little bit scared. Maybe people are like shouting or like cheering for his dad. And Glen appears to be like giving his side a little bit of a scratch to comfort him. And he's wearing a little black bow tie with a little, what you wanted me to describe it?
No, you're giving the most SEO fucking description of this.
I feel like I'm listening to like audio description on a movie.
And a little dog collar shaped like a bone that has the Texas like Longhorns symbol that is orange and white. So there we go.
And
you're like
Glen does not
Powell's
have
mouth slightly
a
ajar.
single speck of dog hair on that silk shirt.
Right? That is like a shed-free dog.
That's so incredible.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. You're
and
like
that dog has like long hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're like Glen Powell's hair looks slightly like Prince Eric's hair. His mouth is slightly ajar. No dog hair is featured on this gray-green suit.
How would you describe that shave? Like a nice close shave?
Yeah, nice close shave. His arm muscles are like bulging a little bit, and I think the men's suit.
Talk more about those arm muscles.
Would like it. I was trying to give you a segue. I was like, this
arm.
Hold on. I was laughing at Raven saying, "Is that a close shave?" when he fully has a 5 o'clock shadow.
I don't know what that means. I don't hang around men.
Raven, I gotta educate you. I have to educate you.
I don't hang around men.
Right. Like, I'm sorry. That's not my business.
Raven is holding what the internet thinks I am, where she's like, oh, she knows nothing of men. Meanwhile, I'm like, 5 o'clock shadow is a great look on a dude.
Could not tell you what that is.
It's basically where a guy doesn't have a beard, but he has stubble, and it's the idea was that you shaved in the morning. By the time it got to 5 o'clock, you had like stubble.
Okay.
So it's 5 o'clock shadow.
What's the difference between that and then just saying stubble?
Nothing. Not really.
Okay.
Stubble is usually over a day of not shaving.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit longer. 5 o'clock shadow is when it's just kind of like prickly.
Okay.
So this is like somewhere between, this is probably like closer to like a 7 o'clock shadow.
I'll just say and play the record here. I did say close shave and stubble, so it seems like I just described the word that you guys are saying.
Close shave would mean like a close shave would look like my face. Like there's no hair on my
why
face.
is that not just
It's a clean shave. A clean shave and a close shave are the same thing.
Okay, I've been educated. Thank you, my
You're
men
welcome.
educators.
This is our stubble hour. Okay, my pick, because Raven is last.
Raven doesn't want to describe her photo.
You have to describe it in as much detail as Maggie.
I will not. I'll leave that to Maggie.
No. We all must describe our photos. If we can't describe our photos, we can't bring them to the table.
Okay, lesson learned.
So,
Wow.
listeners, you have the clues. Just think about what image Raven picked for this dog segment.
You know what? Yeah.
I just want to show my wholesome image of Glen Powell, his dog, in matching.
I think this should have been
Cowboy
last
hat.
as like a palate cleanser.
No, you did it to yourself.
A Powell cleanser.
Love.
Gonna commit a crime. Anyways,
Rachel, describe your photo.
my photo is Glen Powell holding this puppy named Brisket as a puppy. Not the brisket we have witnessed recently, but a puppy Brisket. And they are in 2 matching tan hats with Glen Powell smiling. Brisket is contemplating his life choices. And it is a cute little image. And I love that this dog wears a hat because my cat wears bat ears or bat wings and he just falls to the ground and refuses to move. So I love this for Brisket and Glen Powell. Now it is time for Raven.
I'm so glad my face is covered. Let's go.
But wait, before we do this, I just want to say, to Raven's credit, when I first saw this image, I tweeted, as many others did, "Ain't no one looking at that dog." And I think that's the general vibe that this man wanted to put out into the world.
Absolutely did.
We didn't
I
find this photo. Like no one hacked his phone to release this photo. Therefore, I believe that it has been released for the public to comment on.
Yes.
I'll say that. I believe that fully, deeply in my heart. Respectfully.
There you go. Go ahead.
Hey,
Maggie.
In this photo, we have Glen, shirtless, pantless, with a towel hanging so low on his waist that I know he shimmied it down to take this photo because that's not functional. I mean, maybe we need a man on this podcast to confirm whether or not that's functional, but it doesn't feel functional to me. But I'm going to keep it PG and just say that Brisket is the star of this photo. And he is cradling Brisket in his arms. And what I like most right here is that Brisket is looking at the phone camera, the phone screen for the photo, which is what I do when I take photos of myself in mirrors. Whereas Glen Powell is looking at himself in the mirror. So there we go.
It is
Photo
very
of the
much.
week.
It is very much like Brisket.
Hold on. Maggie and I are merging
At the same time.
It's
Oh,
very
wait. Where's my face? Oh.
the angle of that.
Oh, no.
Do you want me to bring it back?
I just wanted the warning.
I just have to say, I love that Brisket looks like he's am I okay in this photo? Do I look good in this
Do
photo?
I look good?
He's checking himself out, it's great.
Also, what is that little red spot on the bridge of his nose? Does he wear glasses? And he
He's
picked them up.
old, so.
Well, I know
I've definitely seen photos of him with glasses.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a glasses wearer, my entire fucking life, around my ears, whole stitch.
Well, I don't wear
As a child.
glasses.
Yeah.
Wait. For the podcast listeners out there.
She's wearing glasses.
I'm wearing glasses.
Dear
The
listener,
only one on the pod right now wearing glasses.
Yeah, because I have contacts in, and this
I'm
eye
a
hurts,
glasses
so it's
chaser.
Listen, I had to wear them since I was 2. The minute I have contacts, I was like, I'm done.
But that's bad. Mine's probably like 3rd grade.
I have an eye disability, so I've had glasses. I don't know a time in my life when I can see without something.
Did you have to wear the baby glasses where they're like little goggles? Oh my god, I think those are so cute. I fucking love babies wearing glasses.
Not goggles, because I'm old. They literally were wire ear.
When you were 2?
Glasses.
Yeah, that's what they had when we were children.
It was 1993, Raven. What do you think? The goggle things came out.
That's true. I honestly could not tell you.
Can
I Google it?
Back in my day, I had wire glasses.
And we got glasses.
She's looking at
there's no answer. I would actually have to look it up, so I'm good enough.
I like that Maggie and I just reverted to being like Walter Matthau and Lemon and like the Odd Couple. We were like, oh, when I was young.
You guys really did like team tag me right there.
We also gave old Southern men for some reason. We were like, when I was a kid. But yeah, that's what happens when you wear glasses on your face. I do know he wears glasses because I watched the get to know the cast, or how well does the cast know each other of Twisters, and it was some picture of him and a monkey. And his face on a monkey. His aunt has a monkey. I don't know. I learned this today.
What does this mean?
Are you saying and a monkey or in a monkey?
And
okay, because I was picturing something very like a monkey costume. Like what's going on here?
In addition to a monkey.
Okay.
In addition, there is also a monkey. He had glasses on. I was like, oh, where's glasses? But he also had like the bad Chris Evans and Chris Pine glasses where they're like the square, like where dudes think those look good. I'm like, we got to get you iBuy Direct passes and get you some fun glasses to wear.
I'm going to just say something on the topic of Chris Evans. When are we getting them in a movie together? Because I just feel like...
You know what movie we're going to get them in?
The Running Man?
The live action Toy Story.
Shut up, Rachel. I hope like a big Hollywood exec producer is watching this pod and he goes, Rachel's onto something.
His name is Bob
Copyright.
Iger.
Copyright. We copyright the idea.
Bob Iger, live action Toy Story.
Okay, so then now, guys, we for the Padro listeners, you know this well. If you guys are new to me as a person, we do this thing where welcome, guys. We do this thing where we have dubbed it Cowboy of the Week. On Padro, it's called Stash of the Week. But we pick our favorite image of Glen Powell from this week. Typically, though, on my other podcast, I sing the name of it, but to the song Roxy from the musical Chicago. I haven't really figured out what musical I kind of want to pick for this. So our test run is I'm going to sing a song.
Don't tell them. Just sing it.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna sing it, and then after, no, you know what? You guys can figure it out. It's gonna be quick.
It's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be really hard to figure it out, you
guys. I'm ready. Suddenly, Cowboy is standing beside me. He don't give me orders. He don't condescend. I didn't change another word.
It should have been is lassoing beside me.
Okay, thanks for the note. That's happening. So next week I will be saying lasso, unless you guys say please don't sing that again.
No, I won't do it again. So veto.
Okay, so anyways, what we're doing is we're gonna talk about our favorite picks of Glen Powell from this week. Let's do the same order. Maggie, do you wanna kick us off and I'll make the noise?
I would love this. So I decided to be incredibly difficult, and I decided to choose a moving photograph, which is not something that we are able to show on the live feed of this broadcast. So please enjoy Rachel's sound effects and pretend that Glen Powell is standing in a windstorm with Brisket on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, looking like the leading man of 2024. very dark and stormy.
I would just like to point out Brisket's ears, just so we're all aware what Brisket's ears currently
is very into this. He is having the time of his life. So to describe this for our dear listeners who are not watching this, it is a picture. It is not moving. Of Glen Powell staring into the camera, holding Brisket close to his chest. There is wind sweeping through both of their hair, and the backdrop is very dark and stormy. It looks like, we're in the eye of the storm, which technically the eye of the storm is actually quite bright. So maybe not technically the eye of the storm, but it is like gray and black and a nice shade of teal, dark teal. So yeah.
And Brisket's ears look like gremlin ears. I just would like to point out that the ears look like gremlin ears.
Not super gremlin-y, because they're not as pointy. They do have rounded tips, and they are sticking straight up. They're kind of sticking out. He's having a bit of a moment. I'm sure it's the noise.
How would you describe the shave on Glen's face in this photo?
Okay, now this is easily like a 3-day beard.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a 3-day shave. He's got like the full beard, stash, goatee going on. It's a nice dark. Actually, I would say they probably put makeup into it for the photo shoot to make it even more pronounced, because it is a little bit of a darker shade. It could also be the lighting, but I would say just knowing how things work on set, especially for photographs, for cover shoots, they most likely put some beard color into it to make it more pronounced.
Maggie and I, you're experts on beards. Just like, that's a 3-dayer. Wait, to compare, Raven, this beard.
Stop.
That beard is probably like a day and a half, 2 days. Anyway,
yeah, that was a tour.
That's a good tour. I love this bit that we got going on.
Maybe we'll get sponsored by like a shave company. So next time we do this, we can be like, this podcast is brought to you by
$3 shave club or whatever, $2, whatever it is.
And a haircut, 2 bits.
Just
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a old saying. Back in my day.
As Maggie holds her back. She's like,
back in my day.
My picture, I took it when I couldn't see what I was doing, and I just
photograph.
Celebrity photographer Rachel.
When I aimed, I just pointed and shot and hoped for the best. It's this pretty picture. I don't know. Why is I so zoomed in? That's crazy. I was like, not that close.
Something controversial. It's giving this generation's Tom Cruise.
It's giving Harrison Ford. I don't know what you're saying.
Harrison Ford, but I do think that Glen Powell is Tom Cruise's acolyte. So
yeah, Maggie, let me be clear. I have tweeted, and I meant it about Glen Powell, that Tom Cruise is the one who has to choose the last movie star, because everyone calls Tom Cruise the last movie star. Meaning he has chosen. It is him. Fully what I meant by that tweet. But
the aviators are giving Tom Cruise.
It's giving Tom Cruise.
Well,
yeah.
Here is the thing. Let me, Rachel Leishman, Harrison Ford was my sexual awakening, get on my soapbox for a second. My favorite image of Harrison Ford that I share every year on his birthday, which he shares with my mom, is a picture of him in a suit jacket, some jeans, a button-up t-shirt, and like sunglasses. That is the exact outfit this bitch has on. It's just different colors. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you a bitch, sorry.
Bitch, affectionate.
Where's my hands? Affectionate. But it's the same outfit. So for the listeners, he's wearing like a blue, I think it was supposed to come across as denim, but it's just a blue button-up shirt with a white cream beige, whatever, suit jacket. His hair is looking good. I don't remember. His hairdresser is on Instagram. King, respect. That hair is looking good. Ray-Bans that I think everyone owns if you are a millennial, because I own a pair of those, and I'm sure Maggie does as well. She's nodding slightly off camera.
Yes.
And
in fact, I actually have a pair of Top Gun Maverick aviators from Paramount.
Same. I also have those. No, I have those Ray-Bans he's wearing. I got the round Ray-Bans. Millennials, we were hooked into Ray-Bans, and it's never gone away. And a pair of jeans with some cowboy boots. They're not pictured. I just saw them on stage. I'm just looking at my photography. I'm fucking killing this.
I like the guy in the background.
I was just gonna
guy
say,
in the background. Yeah.
No, you mean his photographer?
Oh, I meant the security guy in the background, right?
His photographer. Hold on, I do want to shout out that photographer. I followed him on Instagram because he is absolutely killing it, to be quite honest. Hold on. I think his name's Eddie Chen, but let me double check those maths. No, don't turn on my notification. This is captivating. Yeah, Eddie Chen. These pictures he took for Twisters are so pretty. He also took pictures for Maxine, a movie I loved. Sorry to people who didn't, but he is a great photographer. I believe that was him. Killed this press tour. King, no notes. All these images are so pretty. And yeah, that's my pick. My own picture.
Icon move.
Iconic. I could
Okay. Also another Eddie Chen pick. Raven, do you want to go
Is that what this is? Is that who took this photo?
I don't know if he took this one specifically, but he was taking pictures of this.
Okay. Mine is Glen Powell standing on an upside down white car that says Twisters, and he is in the heart of New York City, Times Square. What I love, oh my God, and he has a little sassy pose right now. Both of his hands are on his hip. He's wearing nearly the same outfit that Rachel described.
Just different colors.
Instead of I guess you're right. This shirt is a little bit of a lighter blue. And then instead of a white jacket, it's brown, maybe corduroy, right? Would we agree?
It does look corduroy to me.
Right? Okay. What I love the most about this photo is that you can see the Times Square Red Lobster sign right behind him. And it looks like a porta potty on top of some scaffolding. And I just think that's what Times Square is all about, baby.
This is also giving American Doctor Who, because
yes.
That's the artist in the background.
Yes. I will say I've never been to the Times Square.
Into frame.
I love it. I thought that was
frame at that.
I've never been to the Times Square Red Lobster, but I think it looks great in the background. I've been to the Times Square Olive Garden more than I'd like to admit, but not the Red Lobster.
Raven, when you're here, your family.
Oh, I loved that, especially coming from an Italian. I think I needed to hear that.
One time when I went there, it's quick sidebar. One time when I went there, I'll show Raven to the people watching.
Salad bar.
Hey, when I went there, this guy was standing outside trying to direct people to actual Italian restaurants. And I said, sorry, I'm Italian, but I live here. And he was like, go right ahead. Yeah. And he let me go into
That's how it should be.
And I was like, I'm Italian, I know, but I want the breadsticks. And he was like, go right ahead.
I'm sorry, there's nowhere else in New York City, even outside of Times Square, where you can get a meal, a full pasta, bread, soup, and a salad for under $20. I believe
You're not incorrect.
I don't think that Olive Garden is obviously the go-to spot, but I've been to Olive Garden in Times Square when I'm in Times Square more than I'd like to admit.
And on that note, guys, so
sponsored by Olive Garden.
So our next episode is going to be on Twisters, obviously. But then let us know what you want, because we're going to talk about Hitman. I didn't even mention it once. You guys should applaud me because I'm going to do it now, but I didn't mention his Patrick Bateman impression one time this entire pod.
You got to save the good stuff for the Hitman pod.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anyone goes and looks at my articles after this, it's literally pinned. My articles is me talking about the Patrick Bateman impression.
Very on brand.
Yeah, I mean, can you even see it? It's right there.
I was like, you're pointing to Wanda Maximoff.
No, my American Psycho tattoo is right there. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna talk about Twisters next, but let us know what you want to hear. For now, Maggie, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Maggie of the Town, and you can find me over on Instagram at the Maggie Lovitt.
Raven. Oh, do you want to talk about your work at all, Maggie?
Oh, would you like me to talk about my work?
You're just follow me on social media. You don't need to know a single other thing.
No, you're good. It's all there. It's all there on my socials.
I just feel at least Maggie and Rachel, I can't say this for myself without sounding like a douchebag, but Maggie and Rachel should be known without them having to tell you who they are. But fine, Maggie, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, you can
find me.
Them. You can find me on Twitter. I have all my stuff right there in my description of who I am. I'm very personal when I'm not being a fangirl.
Fangirl. I mean, fangirl is literally in my bio. Raven, where can people find you?
I am also #profesh all the time. That's just my brand. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Raven T Brunner, and Brunner is spelled B Runner. So that's me.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
Haven't ran a day in my life.
She's a runner. She's a track star. You can follow me at Rachel Leishman on Twitter, and I'm Rachel_Leishman on Instagram and TikTok. And check my stuff out at the Mary Sue and Collider, and also my other podcast. There's a lot. You can just find them online. Google me, but if someone's being mean, you can just ignore that person.
Relatable.
No haters are allowed here. We're all pals.
We're the Powell. Anyways, my new claim to fame is that Glen Powell's dad waved at me on the set of Twisters. I think he just waved at journalists, and I happen to be one of them. But
on the
until
set,
next,
you went to the.
I mean, on the no, what is
The
that
junket
called?
set.
Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
There were three of us on a hayride, and all of a sudden I looked and I said, "Why do I recognize this gentleman waving at me?" And then I said, "From Glen Powell's Instagram, it was his dad."
I love that.
And that's your little tease for the Twisters episode, everybody. So until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.